My strict rules that I learned that changed my life is a 5-20 rule. My objective during business, activity I get paid for, is to keep all my phone calls to 5 minutes and all my business meetings to 20 minutes. And the reason is it makes me more productive and more accessible, which ties into productivity and accessibility being a student of your calendar. In order to keep the 5-20 rule, you can see even setting up this interview, these guys are right on the time by minutes, right? We need to leave now. But think about it. If you can be twice as productive, twice as efficient, and twice as effective, you can, what I call the 64, right? The power of 64 in my book. I can have 64 hours of productivity in a day. Compared to what most people do is they call it work, 8 hours, but they have 2 hours of productivity. So they wonder why. You read off the accolades and the productive things that I've done. They're like, how do you do all that? Well, that list represents about 10%. Like, my publicist has to narrow out all the other things that there are, because every day I'm producing a minimum of 7 days a week, by the way. Because remember, when you define things as activity you get paid for and you enjoy the pursuit, people are like, you gotta relax. What are you talking about? Relaxing is enjoying. I'm a 7 days a week guy. I had to figure out how to be productive and relaxed because my relationship with my wife's so important, and she likes to read by a pool in some Bahamas or Cabo, and it drove me crazy because there's only so many laps in a pool that I can swim and pretend like I'm relaxing.
You get Nancy.
Yeah, not me. I started writing books.
I've been following you now for a long time, and it's such an honor, especially in today's world. As we talked off camera, the world's getting smaller. So for me, someone who's looked up to you, have put some of your practices into my world as an entrepreneur, to be able to sit down with you and for you to give me the time, number one, thank you, I'm honored. And I just wonder how that is like for you when you meet someone that you have touched, because I'm sure you run into people probably every day now where that's happening.
It's really interesting, especially because of my background of being the CEO of Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment and being business partners with Warren Moon. I saw it from a different perspective, right? I saw people, if I was with Troy Aikman or Steve Young or Warren Moon or Lennox Lewis or Evander Holyfield or any of the greats that Lee had represented, Warren Moon changes people's lives just from what he represents. Especially as an African-American quarterback.
Sure.
And we don't even hardly say African-American quarterback anymore. That's how much Warren Moon has helped the NFL with equality, right? They're just quarterbacks, bad, good, idiots, not idiots.
We don't see color.
Yeah, you don't see it because there's so many, right? It's just a norm. In fact, my son, which is one of my favorite progressions in the world, when President Trump was elected, he's like, wow, we have a white president. Because I realized he was born when Obama was elected, so he only knew an African-American president.
Isn't that something?
Which is perspective. So for me, for people to come up to me the way they did my heroes, we market the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Dan Fouts and Joe Namath and Joe Montanas of the world, it's just not even real. Walk in the airport and people tell you, thank you so much, I love your videos, you changed your life, or they'll yell, hey, 120 rule. Or they'll see me, I'm already choking up, and just cry. Yeah. Last night I spoke here in New York, and this one woman could hardly get it out and just say, and just broke down. You changed my life. I know it's the amplification of what I do that is, I've always had great ideas, and they've evolved, but it's so nice that I'm able to reach and resonate with so many people. And I think the biggest difference in my life is just to be myself. When people give you reassurance, then it's just even easier and easier to dress the way you want, say what you think, not care as much about the haters. And I try to teach people in my business coaching, stop the noise, find your frequency, right? I'd rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. Instead of when I was younger, I was such a pleaser.